All right, so we're out on a ride, and this April, it's early April, and I wanted to show you. We're going to go check out a controlled burn today, and this one here, you can see the charring on the ground all through here, and we'll pop over the hill here, other side of my bike, and take a look. This burn here goes all the way down through this drainage along this road, and this road is like the fire break. Here you can see where they put the signs out about the burn, but already we got green grass here that was just singed, but some of it's starting to pop back up. But it just kind of opens up the soil, and they'll go through here and with a chainsaw and we'll drop some trees. They'll drop some trees while they're burning, kind of open up the canopy a little bit. If the trees are standing dead, they'll drop them, and the fire just kind of stays on the ground. It doesn't really get hot enough to, light trees on fire and stuff. But the one place it is kind of, it can get kind of squirrely is when you have a pine tree that's limbs come down to the ground like this right here, and that can catch a tree on fire. But you can see here it just really opens up the forest when they burn it. Some of these pine trees got a little hot, but fire is really good for pine trees. So there's an active fire up here today, so we're going to go all the way up around the mountain over here and try to get above it on the upwind side and take a look at how big it is and whatnot. It's a good day to be out. It's a little breezy. Turkey season's in. Thinking about going turkey hunting tomorrow, but we'll see. Trying to get my brother to go, but told him today I got to go out for a ride. This fire that's burning right now is going to burn till Sunday. I think they're going to put it out on Sunday. It's about a 3-day fire. Anyway, we're going to get back on the mule here and get back up the road. Well, we're going up here through this bottom, this giant watershed and drainage, taking a long loop around to try to get up on top of this mountain up here above the fire. There's a lot of people out this weekend. This is a real popular area, and this particular service road has many pull-offs down along the river and the creek down here, which has some native brookies in it, and you'll find people fishing down here once in a while. But it's been beautiful weather here of late. It's ideal fire conditions, not too windy. We've had some rain within the last week or so the soil moisture is pretty good. And we're going to get up here and get up on top of the mountain, get above the fire and look down in and see what she looks like. Stay tuned. We got some pretty good vistas that we'll pop out on here while we're on the ride, and this turns into some real beautiful country. So I hope you enjoy this. All right, we're up on the knife edge of the ridge, and everything to my right is Virginia. Everything to my left is West Virginia. And they did a burn up here on this top about 2 weeks ago. And like I said, here in April, we're in mid-April now, but in early April, they were burning up here about every week. So I think there was 8 controlled burns started up here in the last month. And we're getting a little closer to this high point, this high vista, so stay tuned. We'll see some pretty sights. This is one of the best dual sport rides there are in Virginia. You can get up on the knife edge of this ridge and ride for 100 miles pretty much, and only cross pavement a few times. And it's just a gorgeous place to come and ride. Your views are outstanding. and you're at a little over 4,000 feet. I think it's 4,400 feet in some of the highest points, but you definitely stay above like 3,200 feet once you get up on the knife edge of the ridge. Some of the terrain can be pretty rough, and but the road I'm on now here is improved. The Forest Service keeps it pretty nice because they have to get up in here and manage fire and manage trees and whatnot. So, but to the north here, there's a section that's just downright ridiculous, and I don't generally go through that unless I'm with other people. But a little piece of Macadam Road here that goes on up here to the highest point in this county, where you can look out and see everything. And we'll be topping out here pretty soon. Everything to my left is West Virginia, and we'll be circling back up around this parking lot here in just a minute and looking down in right on the fire. So I didn't know there was any other riders out today, but when I got up here, there was a group of 3 guys. 2 of them were together, and they had come in from the north through that rough terrain, and another fella had come up through the fire, and they were all just kind of up here hanging out on the top, talking about trails and watching the fire burn and whatnot. And so we'll get off here and show you what we got as far as the fire goes. There's the fire. Not real big, but it's pretty wild. We can take that road right down there and probably get pretty close to it. We might try to do that, but it's in this basin and all the way over in that basin. But yeah, top of the world up here. Sure is beautiful. That's West Virginia back there. And all the way down in through there. The area that we came up through is all the way over in here. We came up we came out across this mountain right here. That's where that other fire was a couple of weeks ago. And there you can see way down south. That's actually Virginia, but there's another fire down there, which is pretty cool. Well, we're back down here in the bottom, and you'll start seeing some wispy clouds up ahead of me here as we're driving along, and that's actually the fire. We came all the way back down the way we went up because coming down the mountain through into that fire did not look like we'd have a good time. You could tell when we were sitting up there watching the fire burn that the smoke would come down and inundate the road for about a mile. So I decided to go back around the way I came and come up through another basin, come in towards the fire from below, and see if we could actually get to where the fire was burning. So stay tuned, and we'll be passing through an area here shortly where there's some cabins, and that's one of the main reasons why this fire is done about every 6 years or so. They come up and burn, try to protect the homes and the communities that live at the base of the mountain up here. So you'll see some of those houses here off to the left as we get a little closer, and then we'll be riding up the hardtop road till we get to the fire. Here you'll see a little guy on a Trail 90 coming at me, one of those little Honda Trail 90s or Trail 110s, whatever they are. He looked like he was just out having a good time. He's probably living in one of these houses down here, which is coming up here on the left, and we're about a mile from the hardtop road, and then we'll go about 3 miles up the mountain until we get to the fire. As far as you predator hunters and guys that like to hunt out here in the mountains, these fires are just absolutely a thing that I'm thankful for. And we ended up meeting some Forest Service guys up here, and I had a chance to talk to the one guy. And you'll see the fire when we get to it. It's back burning, so it's burning downhill into the wind, and it just slowly creeps its way down to the road where the fire break is. And That's how they kind of keep it in a box, as they say. But I had a chance to talk to him and thank him for working hard at, doing burns for our woods and whatnot. I'm telling you, the turkey and the grouse will flourish once this ground starts coming back. The understory cover just pops in about a year or two after the fire, and it just really livens up the soil, and all the critters benefit from it. You'll have an explosion of ground nesting birds. You'll have an explosion of predators that'll have more birds to eat. Bobcat do real well. So it's a real awesome thing, and I'm so fortunate to live here in Virginia, where we have an amazing Forest Service that takes care of the Forest Service, takes care of the National Forest properly. They do burns, they do a lot of cutting, and it just makes for a nutrient-dense forest, and it really helps the wildlife. Our deer are doing really good right now. Our bear are doing so good that they got a little overpopulated and got mange, and so we've had a bear die off with all the mange, but they'll come back around. Our coyotes get mange every now and then too. This winter seemed like it was kind of rough up in the mountains. I didn't have quite as many coyote encounters as what I thought I would. The coyotes were just really hanging out on the farmland this year. They didn't really make it up deep into the mountains. They were really out on the fringes, staying within a mile or two of the farmland. I have a feeling we had such a dry fall, and it may be because there just wasn't enough water. A lot of the deer and the turkey were hanging out down low too, because we didn't have much water. So it made predator hunting this winter really, really tough. But yeah, we're getting close up here, and we'll get this video wrapped up here soon, and show y'all what an actual controlled burn looks like at the site of the fire. There you can see I just passed one of the Forest Service trucks. They've hired some subcontractors also. The way it looks is a fire starting or fire burning company that's up here helping the Forest Service, but they're about 50-50. There's about half of those guys and half Forest Service guys up here. Haven't seen anybody in the woods. They're pretty much just driving around the roads. They got this particular fire that we're going to boxed in by hardtop roads and dirt roads, and with the conditions, I would think that the fire should be out by Sunday or Monday, and unless the wind changes, they won't have to actually put it out. It'll probably just burn out on its own. But we got another mile yet here, and we'll be right there at it. All right, we're at the site of the burn. Hopefully they'll let me get close. There's a bunch of Forest Service guys and subcontractors here. Got a flood control dam to the left, and we're just a few hundred yards from the fire, and you'll see the fire back burning downhill towards the road. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat how it just kind of burns in a line. And some of the trees up on the right, up on this hill here where this fire is burning, were actually a gypsy moth kill. And some of those trees actually caught on fire, so they told me that one of the reasons they got so much smoke on this fire is because that thing actually is burning some of the trees. And there you can see it's just a little skirmish line of fire coming down the hill, and everything is charred uphill from it. So there you go. I can feel a little bit of heat from where I'm standing near my bike, but it's not bad. Imagine up the hill it gets pretty bad, but yep, just a little skirmish line of fire, and they just monitor it and watch it burn. Some of the trees up on the hillside, there were gypsy moth killed. Like I said, they've caught fire and were smoking pretty good when I was coming up the road. But it's hard to stop and show you all that while I'm driving. But anyhow, this is kind of what she looked like from the top of the mountain. It's been a beautiful day, and I hope you have a good forestry service department in your state that looks out for the wildlife and the trees and manages the resource that we have properly, so that everything can flourish and not get destroyed in huge wildfires. When we have big wildfires that get out of control, man, it gets real ugly, and you'll get, 50,000 acres burned for 3 weeks. And you want to talk about some smoke. This here will burn for a couple days, and it's probably 3,500 to 4,000 acres. And they'll skip 20 miles up the mountain somewhere else and burn again. And they just kind of keep it burned in rotated areas, especially around houses and whatnot. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video and you saw something that you enjoyed. Clear cuts and burns, baby. That's what makes things work out here in the mountains of Virginia. So, y'all have a good one, and thanks for spending your time with me today.